Hey cousins, this is your cousin Crystal, and I'm here with my cousin, sister, best friend, Ebenezer, Ebony. But
Hey y'all.
we're here because I am starting this new show called Cousin Crystal. It's something that I've been wanting to do for years. I've talked to Ebony about it. I've talked to my husband about it. Talked to my other friend about it. Years and years and years. Finally, I'm like, you know what? Stop talking about it and be about it. Anyway, so I'm here and I'm excited to do this. Every week we'll be talking about all kind of things, relationship, work, all the drama, sometimes celebrity stuff just because we can. And just, being moms, being best friends, personal stories. We also want to hear some of y'all stories. And so that's when we'll have some cousins in. We'll have some aunties on for their wisdom because y'all know that we need aunties, mamas. It takes a village to raise everybody. And even though I'm grown, I'm not that grown. But anyway, so I am Cousin Crystal. I'm your cousin, not your therapist, but I still got y'all. So today we're going to do a little something different. Last week was work week. This week will be about relationships. What kind of relationships, Ed?
Let's talk about this dating pool that we got going on right now, girl. In
See, y'all,
2025.
I would not know nothing about that. I've been married for 20. I've been with my husband since I was 19. I've been married for like, what, 19 years? So 18 years. So I am so happy and blessed and thankful. I do not know nothing about this dating pool. However, I do hear some stories and I have some stories, even though I dated him since I was 19. I do have some stories of my own because stuff was crazy back then. It seemed like stuff is still crazy. Am I right, Ebony?
Yes, because yes, I was married. I'm divorced and I'm back out here in this scene and girl, it's crazy out here. It could be
Yeah.
ahead of dating in 2025.
Well, I can't wait to hear about it. And so let's get into it. So you said that you're divorced. So how long have you been divorced?
It's coming up on 5 years. Like literally coming up on 5 years, like in a couple weeks.
Okay. And then since then, what have you noticed? Like, have you noticed any dating trends or some crazy stuff that's been happening since you dated like when you were married and then now?
Now it's like you gotta be on a dating app to date someone. It's not like how it used to be back then when you could just find someone at the movie theater, the mall, or whatever. But yeah, so now you gotta be on these apps, swiping left and right and up and down and
Girl. Wow. Yeah, I'm good. But I'm laughing also because you're talking about dating on the app. Quick story. I met my husband. I don't know if y'all remember the party line. We're from the
yeah.
Bay. Ebony and I are from the Bay, right? We've been besties since kindergarten, or not kindergarten, not that far back. Whoa, I wish. Since elementary school. I think she was like third grade. I was second grade, whatever. We used to walk home together, used to play together, everything, right? So we go way back, way back. So I know Ebony remember the party line. I would be on it.
Yes,
And
sure do.
for y'all who don't know what the party line is, I think it still exists. Someone said it still exists. Y'all let me know in the comments if you know what it is. And A, if you know what it is. B, if it still exists. Okay. And C, what's the number? Cause I want to give it to Ebony. Anyways. So for y'all who don't know what the party line is, it was a phone number that you would call. You call there, it says, "Holy shnipies, you got mail." Welcome to party line. You have to say a profile. So I'll be like, "Oh, my name is Crystal," or I'll put my nickname out there, a little description of myself or what I like to do, blah, 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 blah. you can go through through the voice messages and just pick people by their voice, So you'll have like somebody, yeah, my name is Duran, and then you're like, hold on, and then you have some of the nasty ones, and then you have some that's like, hi, my name is Jose, and it's like, nah, dude, nah. And then you have some girls on there trying to get girls. So you could choose what your flavor is, If you a girl trying to go for a girl, you a girl trying to go for a boy, you man trying to go for a woman, whatever, right? So you can go into group chats where it's like 15 people, 10 people, whatever amount of people in there, and it's crazy. So then you have somebody shouting, be quiet. Hey, everybody be quiet, be quiet, everybody be quiet. And so then you have somebody else maybe saying, hey, hey, nephew, that's my nephew. Then you might have somebody trying to say, like, hey, where all the girls at? Where all the guys at? And it's just chaos, right? A lot of people having different conversations. Then if you find somebody like I did, my husband, who was a total sweetheart, he was so sweet and he asked me to go into a private room. You can go to a private room and talk one-on-one. And that's what we did before we hung up because he was at work. He had to go back. He was like, do you mind if I get your number? He was a sweetheart. I had to. He was such a gentleman. He didn't talk about nothing inappropriate. He was like, wanting to get to know me. So I gave him my number and that's how I met my husband. Holy snipies, I have mail. Oh, shit. Anyways, so like I said, Ebony needs that number because we gotta get her a party line boy. So what are some apps that you have used over like these 5 years?
Well, I did Black People's Meet. I did that Dateline. I was on it's still around too. I just forgot the name of it. I can't remember the name of it. But I was on that one. Of course, I was doing the swiping app. And I was on the Facebook dating app. That was the last app I was on. And when I tell you, the Facebook dating app had some characters. These men these days, I swear, they be team too much all the time. But it's kind of fun sometimes as well. I mean, meeting new people, getting a little bit of their story, finding out what their flavor is. You can always decline, say that you're not interested if the conversation is not going well. And I did it. I'm sorry, I had to tell the story.
Please do.
I ended up finding someone on the Facebook dating app. Very sweet guy. Very sweet. Started out very humble. White guy. He was cool. I was like, all right, he's cool. I mean, he lived a little further away from me, but he was like, I was vibing with the conversation. Then I seen a picture of him, and I know my girl know this. I'm a big John B. fan.
Mm-hmm.
And he was looking like John B. Tall, 6 foot. I was like,
you were done.
You checking all the boxes.
But
okay, cousins. Now let me tell you this. Gave him a number and everything. Sweet guy. Tell me why he was living in his best friend's basement. Yes. And he was only there like 3 days a week. The other 2 days he was staying at a shelter that he worked at.
Wait, what? Wait. You said he was staying at a shelter that he worked at?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, so then why did he think he was ready to date because like, no, boo. I mean, I know everybody gets lonely, right? And
Yes.
we should have companionship, right? But like when you
Mm-hmm.
talking about dating, that means you have your life together a little, to a certain extent where you feel like you can extend yourself to another person. However, if you don't have your basic needs met, you can't be dating, boo. Like you gotta step back. You can have friends that you kick it with, you have cool, be safe with and all that. But like to be actually dating, nah. Okay, go ahead, girl. Sorry. You got me.
The girl, and I felt it. I felt it. And I felt like he wanted to be an extension on my couch, which that was not going to happen. No, no. I'm sorry. It was not going to work. I had to let him know. I was polite, cuz I was polite. I let him know, this is not going to work. I was
No.
like, we can't. We can't. Yeah, that was, that was one of
Mm,
my most funny stories. And I had to mention that to y'all.
Lord. I'm trying to think, because like I mentioned, I've been married for a long time, and before my husband, I had my share of little things that would happen and stuff, and I'm trying to think if I had any like, I mean, I don't remember them that well, but I did have a guy who did that whole spiel. You always y'all know, y'all when I tell you, y'all know, y'all cousins would know which ones I'm talking about. So there's always this one guy that just threatened, like he comes on too strong. Oh,
Mm.
and always compliment. Oh, you're so beautiful. You're so beautiful. I like at first it's flattering. It's like, oh, thank you. I know. But then like after you hear it like 10 times in one day, it's like, all right, dude, like stay away a little bit. Then calling you, where you at? What you doing? Where you at? What you doing? Like, stop blowing up my phone, and back then we had the flip phones. So it was like, and no Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff. So they couldn't really stalk you on that. So it's like either but I don't think you could block their number, but you just see their number coming in, you just don't answer, right? And then I remember, I can't remember who he was. I just remember the situation. He got it was like too intense. And so I started backing away. And then he was like, if you stop talking to me, I'm going to kill myself. Oh, disclaimer. Sorry, y'all. But that's what he said. And I was just like, what? And of course, I'm young because at this time I'm probably like 17 and a half, 18 years old. And I don't know what to do with that because I'm just like, is that true? Is that going to be on me? So I'm over here tripping out like, oh shoot, like if he does that, that's going to be my fault, blah, blah. And so finally I got tired of him. Keep, testing my nerves. So I just like, well, if you go do it, just do it. Because there's nothing I can do because I don't want to be with you, dude. I don't want to be with your crazy behind. And he did it. He was just like over attached. So years later, I remember talking to one of our good friends, and the way she was describing this one guy, and she was an adult, by the way, and in her mid-20s. And the way she was describing this one guy, it threw up red flags to remind me of that guy. And I was like, be careful with him. He's going to be too clingy. And when you're ready to go, he's going to be threatening you that he's going to, himself. And sure enough, exactly the way I told her, she calls me up and is like, girl, you told me. And you know what I did? I just called 911 on his ass. Okay, you feel like you want to do that? I'm going to call 911. I was like, yes, girl, because I told her that. I said, call his bluff. Call his freaking bluff. Because you want to play around that. We don't play like that, And so, like, I'm just so thankful that I don't have to deal with these crazy fools. Like, I hear some stories of like guys who just really think that they have their stuff together and they're nowhere near that. Guys who think that they could just lay up on you and not do nothing. You take care of them, like, and this is nothing new. It's just this kind of breed is a little different. Am I right?
Mm.
Or
Yes, you are right. You got gold digging women, you got gold digging men.
mm,
And they prefer a woman who is independent, especially one who has children. You know why?
hmm,
She will be his mother as well. So then you raising your own kids and this grown ass motherfucking man who don't want to get a job, don't even know how to spell job. So yeah. These days,
Absolutely
this is
not.
what you got to deal with. And I'm not the one.
One of my male friends, he tells me sometimes about his dating stories, and he's told me that these women, especially the ones he's like, I won't date a barista, like ever again. I will not date a barista. They want me to pay for everything. Like he's been to Starbucks, he's been to Pete's and da da da, and he likes to go to coffee shops or whatever. And then they have like young looking, cool looking, beautiful looking girls there. Of course, he's single, he wants a pretty girl, whatever. And they'll get to talking, but then he's like, but then they want to know what I got, how much money I have in the bank. And he's like, B, you're a barista. Like, calm the hell down. What the heck do you have right now? Like, let me take you out. But he was like, they want steak dinners. They don't want to just go hang out at like a spot. And he's like, if I go on 10 dates in a month, like I can't buy everybody a steak dinner, like let's get to know each other the first date. Then when I bring you out on the second date, then it'll get a little more fancier, a little bit better, because that means I'm sparking interest. What are your thoughts around that, Ebenezer? Like, do you think, and cousins, also let me know what your thoughts are, do you think that a guy should pay for the date? I will say the first date. Pay for the first date. B, what kind of first date do you expect? Like, what kind of money should he be dropping?
I mean, yeah, no, I definitely agree. You should pay for the first date. Okay, that's a given. But also, I'm expecting to, go out, have a nice meal, do an activity. That doesn't mean you got to come into my house. We not, having no nightcaps. Don't automatically
Okay.
assume just because you spend a little money on me, then now my legs got to open up like 7-Eleven. That's
Right.
not gonna happen.
Right. That's true. Yeah, that should not be a given. When you say a nice date, what do you mean by that? Or a nice meal, go somewhere. What do you mean by that? Like about a price line, give me an example.
Well, for me, I'm a very simple girl. So for me, a nice meal would be probably about $20-$30.
Okay.
First date. It doesn't have to be extremely lavish. I'm not that type of chick. If you are, kudos to you.
Right.
But I'm not that type of chick. And maybe a nice walk and a conversation, or
You're so much like.
maybe bowling. Me, I'm a music girl, and my last first date, we went out to eat and we did some karaoke.
Mm-hmm.
See, and that was a really, really nice date. So, not expecting something at the end, a nice little peck and in the evening. If I feel comfortable
Mm-hmm.
in doing so, don't automatically assume,
Right.
that, I'm gonna give you a kiss and a phone call. I mean, it can be simple. It doesn't have to be no, oh, you gotta drop $500 on me on a date.
Right.
And I want to get a chance to know you. You get a chance to know me. I don't want the guy sitting there talking the whole damn time and sitting there and telling me his whole story and his whole life story and then his dreams and his goals and not ask me about me,
Right.
or keeps cutting me off every 5 seconds when I start talking, but have the nerve to say, excuse me. A conversation is supposed to go both ways. You're supposed to respond. And you sometimes get those type of men who kind of are very into themselves
Mm-hmm.
and kind of forget that you in the room, because basically,
So they pass a mirror
basically,
and they catch themselves, and they basically on a date with themselves.
mm-hmm.
So, I agree with you. Like for me, I never, mind you, I was young whenever when I met my husband. So it's hard to compare now that Crystal to this Crystal. However, I'm gonna just pretend if I was single, what I would expect. But I'm like this even with my husband right now. Like I'm like you. Just take me out. We get a little bite to eat. We could share something, whatever. I don't like sharing that much unless if I really, really like you. So if I ever share food with you, I like you. But anyway, it's the Capricorn in me. We count it mentally like, dang, I really like that sushi, bruh. I had 6 pieces. I gave you 2. I could have had 2 more. I really want more, but I can't eat 6. Capricorn calculations. Anyway, so I do like going out a little bit. Like, I don't like people a lot, like going out with a lot of people like around me, but I like a little dinner date or lunch. I like a lunch because that means I can get the same thing that I could for dinner, but for cheaper. So that means I can get the app and the
Yeah.
but
Yep.
I mean my husband and my guy friend always say you're a cheap date, like you're a cheap date. So it takes a little bit to make me happy, and then afterwards I'm like, I'm good sitting in the car talking for a while and then going for a walk. Karaoke is perfect. I love singing. Like, we throw down karaoke. Yeah,
Mhm.
we're gonna do some soon. But anyways, karaoke is perfect. Bowling, I'm not a big bowler. I'll do it. I don't really like it. But like just a little activity. It doesn't have to be money driven activity. It could be taking a walk on around the block, or even like if we have the same gym membership, going to the gym, walking on a treadmill, talking to each other. I don't care. My first date with my husband was very simple. Like I said, I met him on the party line, so I never saw him. And then one day he calls me up. I'm working at a mall, and he's like, "Hey, what mall did you say you work at?" I'm like, this one. Why? He's like, mind you, he lived probably about an hour away from me, so he drove all the way up, then asked me where I work, and then proceeded to say, "Oh, I'm here. I thought you worked there, so I'm here." So I leave work. I was on my break, and I leave and I go up and I see him and I'm like, oh my God, like he really is here, you know? But so we talk, we connected or whatever. And he, he was like, okay, hey, I gotta go. I gotta bring my mom somewhere. Come and find out he had to bring his mama to church, but he was too embarrassed to tell me that he had to go to church. He didn't know that I was a pastor's kid. So like, that doesn't faze me. I used to go to church all the time. And so, he was like, but I'll be back. And I was like, okay, when you come back, he's like, I'm coming back tonight. You gonna drive all the way over here, hour and a half away to come see me tonight. Okay, whatever. I called his bluff. I thought he was bluffing, but whatever. So he calls me up. Hey, I'm on my way. I'm going to come back. What do you want to do? We decided to go to the drive-in movie. There was a drive-in, like old style drive-in. You know which one it is, off of Capitol Expressway, but,
Yeah.
or
I
off
do.
of Monterey.
Mhm.
And so we went there, and there was something about him. I trusted him, but I knew instinctively, like in my soul, in my gut, I treated him different from day one. Like I felt like he was going to be the one. I just felt it. And so I was scared to be alone with him, believe it or not. Like, and I've been alone with guys on dates, but I was so nervous to be alone with him because I was just like, I'm gonna lose my stuff. Like I'm gonna like all the rules are gonna go out the window with this one. It wasn't even like he was so innocent and sweet, and so respectful, but I just knew like something. He was different. And so I had my other friend Laura, Laura, and my other guy friend at the time do a double date with us. So they sat in the back, we sat in the front of my car, and like we just had a great time. Like we laughed. I know he felt a little uncomfortable. My husband at the time, he's like, "Oh, I thought it was just gonna be you and I." And then I dropped them off. Since my buddy Laura was like, "Okay, he seems pretty safe. Whatever, we know how he lived. Blah blah. Go ahead with him." So he and we wind up going at the Great Mall in the parking lot, just chopping it up. We talked until like 3-4 o'clock in the morning, just about everything, and it was amazing. And then it was around that was probably around early December, and then or maybe late November. It was late November. And then come New Year's, he was like, "Hey, I want to take you out again." I was like, "Okay, where are we going?" He said, "Surprise." So he put gas in my car, girl. He filled it up. He said, "Do you mind if we take your car?" I had like a newer car. We took my car. He drove us to San Francisco. from San Jose to San Francisco. A little drive, you know. I didn't know where we were going. Then he showed me like by the Golden Gate Bridge, and we stood on the, like, there was like this cliff. It was pouring raining that day, like pouring raining. So we sat in the car for a while. He's like, man, I should have planned this better. I should have looked at the weather, blah, blah, blah. I was like, it's okay. So we sat in my car. We were just talking about everything, getting to know each other. And, yeah, it was just, it was amazing time. He was such a gentleman. He took off his coat. He gave me his coat. He gave me his hat. Then he proceeded to tell me little stories about his childhood. Then finally the rain stopped and we got out and it was so muddy. And he was like holding my hand and like putting his hand on my back to make sure I don't slip. And when we got to our destination by the Golden Gate Bridge, like on this cliff, it was gorgeous. You could see the Golden Gate Bridge. Then you could see people in the ships below, and they had fireworks going off. And it was like finally people were counting down, you know, Happy New Year. And he's like, do you mind if I give you a kiss? I've never had a New Year kiss, so yes. So he gave me a New Year's kiss, and it was on and popping after that. And then we were together ever since. He asked me to be his number one baby. Anyways, yes, he asked me to be his girlfriend. I was like, okay. Girl, I had a whole boyfriend at the time. Jesse, I would like to say sorry, but I'm not gonna be sorry because he's better. Anyways, yes. So my boyfriend Jesse, over the couple weeks, he was calling. I wasn't picking up. Finally, I picked up, and he was like, "Oh, I already know." So, you know, people knew me in San Jose. Like I knew a lot of people, so I'm pretty sure somebody told him, "Oh, I saw Krista with some guy." Blah 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 blah. So, anyways, but yeah, so he swoops me up. My husband likes to wear that badge. Oh, I got you from somebody else. I stole you from somebody else. Whatever. Anyways, yes, and so that's my little quick story of how I met my husband. You'll be hearing more stories because he's an amazing person, and you know, and I think we beat the odds. What do you think? I mean, I feel like Hector and I beat the odds.
Y'all definitely did. Y'all definitely did. I love watching your relationship blossom from when you guys first started dating. And when I first met him, I gave her the thumbs up because I liked him. He was great. And, you know, the wedding, your marriage, I mean, my beautiful niece and nephew, I mean, you guys look and always will be a great couple.
You. I feel like over time, like we had our struggles. Ooh, Lord, we had our struggles. But I feel like over time, it has blossomed into this thing that he and I only prayed for and like dreamed of it to be. And I can't even lie. Like when I say every day it's a better day than yesterday, it is. And he's not like a Prince Charming where he's like bringing roses home every day and, you know, like woo woo and so romantic. But he's like, he's himself. He's funny and he's caring and he's loyal and all his paychecks come to me. And he's a caring person, a genuine girl for reals. That matters because it goes into the same bank account. That y'all know, y'all cousins know that matters. Bring your paycheck to me because when you see that paycheck is missing $200-300, you like, who you spending it on? What's going on? But that's not our case. And like Ebony mentioned that we have 2 kids. Yeah, we have 2 teens together, 19-year-old, 17-year-old. We have 3 dogs. But it's just been it's been a ride. Like you guys are hearing the good parts of it, but like, you know, Hector and I, we will share some of our struggles and stuff to encourage. But, you know, coming from like meeting him when I was 19 and just turning 19, by the way. And then he was like, I think 23 at the time. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know we were going to be together until I'm 40 and he's like in his 40s too. And this is what we're going to have, right? Yeah, there was times where it was a struggle. And I'm like, I don't know about this. I call Ebony like, girl, about to take him out. I'm about to take him out. Girl, are you looking at him while he laying down? He's sleeping like a baby and you pissed off still. You like, that pillow looking mighty fluffy right now. I want to just mush your head in it. I know you've been there, girl.
A couple times. Yeah, a couple times.
You want to take him
I
out a
think
little
that
bit.
pillow did kind of brush over the face once or twice. But I loved him enough to put the pillow back down.
At the moment, girl, one time he was snoring so loud. Oh my God. Mind you, okay, I had back-to-back kids, back-to-back. So I was tired, like dog tired, right? He over here, me, like sleeping like a baby, like, but he was snoring hella loud. Girl, I woke him up. Don't flip him over. I still flip him over at night, by the way. I flipped him over like 3 times last night. Flip him over, flip him over, flip him over. Nothing helped, girl. I took a sock, girl, and I put it in his mouth. And then something told me, please take that sock out. You're going to suffocate that man. I was just looking like, all right, Lord, I'll listen. Take the sock out of his mouth. I was so pissed. And sometimes I would just like shake him a little bit, like, wake up. And they'd be like, huh? Stop snoring. I'm going to go on the couch. And then he can't go to the couch because then I can't sleep all night because he's not next to me. I'm weird like that. But yeah. Girl. Whew, relationships. So okay. So you know how like growing up, you have a list. You have a list of what you want in a partner. And you expect God to answer that list.
It sure does.
Like, thank you, Lord. Answer this list. I'm not asking for much. It's only 35 elements, 35 categories that I want in a partner. So think back on your list. Everybody, cousins, you do this too. Think back on your list when you were, maybe in your early 20s, your teens, whatever, years ago, 15, 20 years ago, right? And think about your most recent partner or most successful relationship, even if you're not with that person or if you are with that person. And like, think about how many of those items that you asked and prayed for did you really get with that person? Like my husband's short, right? He's like maybe on a good day, like 5'7", right? I'm 5'2.5". Yes, I need the half. But he's like 5'7", right? He's probably the shortest guy, not the shortest guy that I dated, but the shortest guy that I was seriously into. And so it was always like, okay, 5'10" and up, 5'10" and up. So I was kind of shocked by myself, like, and even when I was dating him, I was like, I can never wear heels again. That's what I kept thinking. I can never wear heels again. But I wear heels. So there's things that I thought that I wanted on my list that I really didn't need, or that God was like, oh, hey, I got another, a whole nother plan, a whole nother mold for you. And like, he brings things to me, qualities out of me that nobody else has brought out of me. So when you think about y'all who are dating, especially, our younger cousins who are in their early 20s, mid 20s, they're dating or whatever. And you have these lists of things, qualities, like the guy has to be 6'5" and he has to make this much money and he has to, look fine. He has to be light skinned and he has to have a full head of hair or whatever it might be. Like, also think about what qualities you want him to bring out of you. What positive qualities. I know you got to eat, girl. It's okay, cousin. And so I just want to encourage you guys to think beyond just looks. Yeah, looks, of course we go by what we see first. But like, and that's also for you men, if you're paying attention, if you're watching or whatever, like try to think outside of just your initial looks. Like what person, like you can't change somebody's heart. Like people have bad hearts. I guess you could change people's hearts, but what I'm trying to say is that you want a good-hearted person too. Don't you want someone who you could bring home to your family and then they mutually have mutual respect for each other, that will treat your kids like, with respect and with love and with dignity and not bring any harm. Like I'd rather have someone who's, a 6 in my book versus a 10 who will abuse my kids or will, take advantage of me or take money out of my bank or, just want me for certain things. That's all I'm saying. But continue making those lists. Let's just make them a little more realistic, ladies, because it sounds like this dating pool is a little cray cray, and you might be getting the most finest one in the dating pool, but he probably. So let's do background checks. Let's be cautious. There's times where I would text a friend. I don't know if I've ever done this with you, Ebony, because it's been years, but I would text a friend like a description of the guy that I'm with, where we're going. Call me, like text me, call me during my date, check on me. I even had a password at one point with somebody, like, okay, if I text you, blah 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 banana or whatever, right? Then that means call me, come get me or whatever, I've been on dates where I was like, well, I didn't really have time to talk to him. I met him kind of on the street passing, but I took a picture of his license plate, you know what I mean? Like, you have to protect yourself because you don't know. And that goes with guys too. Like these women, I hear stories of women doing crazy stuff, You want people who love you to know who you're with, Yeah, if they tell you some crazy stories, Ebony has heard some crazy stories. Lord, we probably will talk about that next session, but Ebony has heard some crazy stories. I've heard some crazy stories. We've been told some crazy things, and like y'all probably seen the show Catfish. So I'm just, Lord, there's some crazy stuff out there. So just be cautious, Any tips that you have, Eb?
Well, talking to the younger ones, even though you do have this list, and sometimes it might feel like you have like 100 things on your list, when you get older, it actually does evolve. Because once you start dating someone who quote unquote meets that profile, and then you see that, hey, that didn't work out. Okay, well, let me cut off some things off the list. So actually, when you get older, it evolves. I know mine's evolved. I know I had about 75 things on my list when I was younger. I ain't gonna lie. We don't have time for me to go through all of them. But now it's a lot more simple and simplified. It's always to your preference.
Mm-hmm.
You'll actually become more mature in your choice of men. And same for the guys. When you get older, you have a chance to mature in your choice of a woman, of what you want. And to me, as for myself, I would say personally, since I got older, it's more of what I want for myself and how I see my future and what I want in that who I want in that relationship with my future. Sorry, that's stumbling on my words. So it's more of what you want than what you need. I mean, more than you
more
need
of
what
what
you
you
want.
need.
There you go. I said it backwards.
I got what you meant. More of what you need in your life versus what you want. Right. And I think that's true. Like, because say you find somebody, right? And you have, and you're with that person for years. Like, Lord willing, you're with that person for years. You guys are constantly evolving. So even if he is everything or she is everything on your list right now, they won't be 5 years from now. They won't be from 10 years from now. Lord knows I've gained weight. Like if Hector was like, hey, I want a skinny girl, like you ain't getting that no more, boo. Like, you know what I mean? I was never really, really thin. But like, like you have to look beyond certain things. back then there was qualities that I didn't admire about him. I was like, hey, he's kind of quiet, too quiet. I'm pretty bubbly. I'm pretty outgoing. You remember, like, I'll be like, he's a little serious sometimes. Girl, now he
Yeah.
hella silly, okay? He's learned, he's evolved, and he's so silly. Like, he's more silly than me now. And sometimes I'm like, boy, we about to be fighting up in here. You be coming with
Yeah,
them
that's a
comeback.
little personality popping. Yeah.
Yeah, he feeling himself now. He learned what sarcasm is. Hector's not from. He was born in Mexico, so like, he's not like, he's Americanized, but it was like, you could tell that he was like, he had a lot of that in him. And his family is just overall more serious than my family, and so uh for me, it's always been like, how can we evolve together? Like, yes, I'm this person. Like, I'm not the same person I was 2 years ago, 5 years ago, not 20 years, but, 20 years too. I would have been 20 years old. But, like when I first met him, I'm not the same person now. I feel like I'm more wiser. Before I would fight over everything, y'all know. The Capricorn in me, I'm hard headed. When I get an idea, and I'm like off with it. I don't care if you're with me or not with me, I'm going. I've learned how to slow down a little bit for him because he's like a little more laid back than I am. So I like have to match that sometimes. So he brings me back. He's like makes me grounded in a sense. And and I'm appreciative of that because, I can't be 100% all the time because then you get worn out, so he reminds me to do some self-care, to take a breather, meditate, pray, whatever I need to do, go walk on the grass, blah, blah. Yeah. So I'm thankful for us being able to evolve together. Everything that I've had, every pointer that I've had for him, he's always eventually, I won't say right away, but eventually met that goal. Like if I'm like, hey, I need you to care about my birthdays a little bit more, makes me feel like I'm not cared for when you don't put effort into my birthday, you're doing it the day of, like, think about it, make me a card. It's not that I want him to buy me, Gucci bag or whatever. I mean, he could if he want, but for me, that's kind of like, whatever. It was more like, am I your afterthought or am I your forefront thought? I don't know how to say that, but and so since he knows that matters to me now, he makes an effort of, Mother's Day's coming, kids, Mother Day's coming next week. What are you guys going to do for mom? And so this Mother's Day, it was nice. My son got me some stuff and my husband brought me some stuff and my daughter made me some stuff. It was just beautiful, So to me, that's important. I always say that if I had to, for whatever reason, if he and I weren't together, we chose not to be together or whatever, and I had to date all over again, I don't know if I could do it. I don't know. Like, girl, because I had to train him. I don't want to do that all over again.
Trust me, girl. You stay with your husband, girl, because it's hard out here in these streets.
Right.
Sure.
But like, I can't force him to stay with me. What if he wakes up one day and is like, hey, I'm over you, Crystal. You too crazy. I'm leaving. I'm out. Then I can't stop him. But like, could I do that all over again? I think that I would just be like to myself, and I don't know, girl, my hat is off to you and to the other single women who have had divorces or broken up from a long relationship and y'all are doing it all over again. Please let me know how y'all doing. Like, I genuinely care. Cousin Crystal, I care. I care about y'all. I'm not with y'all, but I care about y'all. And I pray for y'all and just be safe and like, because I hear some stories.
Ooh, it'd be crazy. But, also if you need tips, get in contact with Ebony. I will give you some tips to help you out.
Your cousin Ebony. And you know what? We might do a short video around that or something where we could give some tips. Ebony can give some tips. I'll give some tips to young couples who are trying to get married, trying to be in a long relationship, and then Ebony can give some tips to what she believes she can help with. Because, like I said, it takes a village. Like, we are here to help each other, and that's what it's all about. Okay, so before we end today's show, like, is there anything else that you would like to share or talk about?
No, girl. Can't think of anything else. Maybe we should save that for part 2. We need to get some questions out there from the cousins. Shoot.
Right. And so, speaking of questions, we want to hear from you, cousins, aunties, mamas, sisters, everybody. But cousins, we want to hear from you. You can email me at ask cousin COUSIN Crystal CRYSTAL at gmail.com. You can email me your questions or topics that you want us to cover, or if you want to just tell us that we're doing an amazing job, I hope. Yes, we want to hear from you. You can also go on my Instagram, TikTok. I don't know if I have a Facebook or not, but I think so. Go on wherever you find me, okay? Cousin Crystal, just find me, ask Cousin Crystal, okay? And or even below in the comments, and let us know like if you have a story that you want to share. Like, we want to hear from you. We want to, this is supposed to be interactive, so I'm excited, and I dance a lot when I'm excited. Ebony and I would be singing and we'd be dancing. So sorry, y'all, if we start singing and dancing in the middle of stuff, because sometimes that's what we do. We be feeling it. Yes. Anyway, so remember, y'all be safe out there. And I am Cousin Crystal. I'm your cousin, not your therapist, but I got y'all, okay? And Ebony got y'all too. Until next time.
Bye.